a rainbow mess, and today I wanted to talk about actually making music. Just gonna let you know, I'm reading off a script, and that's cause I tried to make this without a script, and then I screwed it the hell up. I don't have very much time, so script it is. I haven't made a long video in a little while, and if you were wondering why, well, A, don't have any time. Honestly though, also it's easier to make long videos if they're just about gear, and in a large sense I've sort of stopped caring about gear. Let me tell you about how I got into music and what I'm doing now, and maybe that'll make sense. So, I've been making music of a sort for a long time. I made my first song when I was really young. I won't say when so I don't date myself, but the song was called Unpronounceable Symbol, and it was about Prince because he changed his name to the love symbol. So you'll probably know generally about how old I am. Young me, I loved Prince so much, and I'm a white liberal, so my dad listened to They Might Be Giants all the time. So with that content influence and the form influence, I made this song, and I wish I still remembered it or had a recording, because it's super catchy. It's still in my head 25 years later. All I really remember though is the chorus, but it's and then Prince walks into the room, and you don't know what to call them, so you say, hey, unpronounceable symbol. And I think that's really good and catchy. Fight me. Don't fight me. I don't like fighting. But the point is I've been making music for a long time, and usually it's kind of vocals forward pop, right? It's not oh, let's do synths and instruments. And I think vocals forward pop is it's the genre I'm comfortable in. It's what I want to make. But that's not what gear and synths push you into. Most people with synths are making ambient noise albums. No diss on ambient noise albums. They're enjoyable. But to butcher a phrase, man cannot dine on ambient noise alone. So, making music, making songs, getting the feeling inside you, outside you somehow. Hopefully in a way where someone else can even enjoy it or something. That's why I'm driven to make music and to sing and to exist in this musical space. And I'd kind of been missing that feeling for a long time. I took piano lessons around when I made that song, but I went to one lesson and then I was I don't want to do this anymore. Piano's hard. And I was in a choir in high school, but there's some sort of messy stuff around that. It was just a really awkward time. And I basically just did other things and didn't think about music. And then the pandemic happened, and I had a lot of time and nothing else really to do. So I made one song and I started taking piano lessons again, right? I started figuring out all this stuff. It was really cool. But throughout all of it, I just couldn't stop singing, really. So I made that one song, and then what I started doing was I really hated how my voice sounded and how the songs all sounded with my voice in them. So I would make these 2-hour album challenge songs. I'll link to that below. And with that, you just don't have the time to be so self-critical. So I've released some awful music in this 2-hour album challenge. But the process of making the song, putting the song out there, the song exists, all the people in that community are really, really positive, and it was really helpful for me. And I sort of fell into synth gear YouTube after that as well, because you're well, I'm not very good at making music. What if I just bought my way into it, right? So I bought a bunch of synths, and then I didn't make any music, and I was well, this is useless. So I sold a bunch of synths. And I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do. But early in September of this year, actually, I heard the artist Hemlock Springs. So I'll link my favorite of her songs below in the description. So I heard that song, and then I replayed it 10 times, and then I just listened to all of her music, and I was this is someone who, their production, this isn't stellar production, right? This isn't like, oh, amazing stuff, but it conveys the point, and the point is really enjoyable. And it's just good. It's like, it's the type of stuff that I wanted to make that I didn't know that I wanted to make. So I like wrote some lyrics and I made a few bones of songs, but I just didn't really have the ability to make time to make music. And then November 1st came. There's something called Novembeat where you're supposed to just make something every day for a full month. And I'd been trying to make this song, PSB. It's about loving pumpkin spice. And I wanted to release it before October 31st, but I just couldn't. It wasn't in a releasable state. And I think a releasable state is like not finished, not necessarily even good, but like you can listen to it and your brain, you're like, your ears don't rebel, right? That's like my goal with my music, is to get it to a point where I don't hate it. Because if I don't hate it, I'm a very self-critical person. And I think that it is probably going to be enjoyable for some other people. So, yeah, there's also something called Jamuary and January that you can do. So even though this video is releasing probably in the middle of December, you can still do January, and I'd recommend doing January if you have the time and energy and inspiration. I probably won't. I'm going to be very busy for the next 3 months, most likely. That's why videos kind of dried up a lot. But, dear reader, watcher, I participated in Novembeat this year, and I made some good songs, and it was really illuminating. And that's why this video exists. I want to get you to maybe make songs that you like and enjoy the process. And I want to be very explicit on this because I've tried to do Novembeat and Jamuary a few other times, right? The winter of 2020, spring of 2021, etc. And I don't think that just making a beat every day for a month actually helps anything, except for like maybe social media engagement, right? But usually what happens if I'm just making beats is that I make like 3 or 4 beats and then there's nothing driving me to do it anymore because I've ran out of ideas. I had like the idea for like 1 or 2 beats in my head and now those are gone. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Just continue making up BS? That's not fulfilling to me. I want to make songs that I want to make. I don't want to make songs that are just like thrown out nothing. So I went into the month trying to figure out how to make songs sort of like Hemlock Springs, right? Not exactly, but songs where I'm a little more vocal forward than I have been before, because every time I've made a vocal song before, it's felt awful. And I worked on a lot of different things around that. I'll be upfront, I didn't make a jam every day for Novembeat, but I still think that I won. It's a very like self-fulfilling thing, right? When you're like, okay, I'm going to figure out something every day about this problem and work on those things. And as long as you don't care about the social media win of having like a thing out every day, which I don't think you should. Social media is a pox. And also if you have a small social media like audience, I know for me, if I release stuff on social media, if I release a thing every day, I'll get like 10 views on the first, 3 on the second, 1 on the third. And you have to be releasing these things for yourself. You have to be working on things for yourself. And that's the only way that you'll be able to make so many things that you can get to a point where you think your stuff is good. So I made a few songs in the first few days, and then I worked on figuring out ways to make those songs better. I worked on a few production tricks. There was a different contest that I made a song for within the month. And then when I released the song and I listened to other people's entries to that contest, I was like, oh my God, my song is awful, right? There were just a lot of things in regards to the mixing that I thought were very bad. But I really enjoyed the general idea behind the song and the structure of it. So I spent a few days learning mixing stuff, and then I re-released the song, and I'm like, I like this song. This song could be played to someone, and I will like enjoy the process and not fully cringe, which I think is an achievement, because usually if there's anything that I've made, especially if I'm singing on it, I'll just cringe a lot. So I just like figured out, what do I need to do to be comfortable with my songs, with my voice, and what do I need to do to express what I want to express? Let me talk really quickly about voice actually, because I've been going a little bit around it in circles. I don't like my voice, but most people don't like their own voices. If you're watching this, you probably don't like your own voice either. Andrew Huang has a video about this that I think is good, and he's much, much better at videos than me, like to a point where it is hard to encapsulate the difference. So I'm just gonna link his, but I'll also give you a brief overview of how I think about voices and how I was able to kind of move a little past my hangups. I think that there's 3 parts to having a voice that you like. One is production. You need to figure out like your vocal chain, your like how much reverb and compression you're putting. The songs that you hear on the radio, sometimes even in like live studio recordings, they're heavily edited. And they're edited so that they're punchier and clearer and better to others. The second thing that you need to work on, though, is just practice. You need to understand how to use your voice, and you need to feel like you're able to get what you want out of your voice. And that literally just requires practice. There's vocal exercises on YouTube that I think are pretty useful for that, but I never really use vocal exercises because I don't like doing them, so I'll just like sing. I sing a lot, and that's usually how I stay in practice. And then the third thing is proficiency. You need to like know how to change the timbre of your voice to get your desired result, right? You can make your voice really nasal if you want like a really pop star effect. You can make your voice really choral if you want like a really sort of like Carolyn Polachek, kind of like right? And doing all of this work, it doesn't make me like immediately love my voice or anything, right? But it makes me not actively hate it. And I enjoy the process of singing. And I enjoy making songs with lyrics that I think are meaningful. So all of that kind of balances out. In the end, I made probably 6 or 7 songs over the month. I also bought Ableton 11 Suite, so in case you thought I was getting away from Black Friday synth deals, I did not. I will say it was an upgrade. It wasn't the main, it was just the upgrade from 10 to 11. I bought 10 because I had a friend who said that they were going to produce tracks with me, and then 11 came out like 5 months later, and that friend never got back to me again, so it was a bit of a waste, but now I'm using it, so. And a few of those songs are complete throwaways, right? I'm not going to work on them in the future. There's this one song I made, it's called November 27th, and the first lyric is like, it's November 27th, and here I am just trying to figure out what music style to make. Here, let me sing it. It works better. It's November 27th, and here I am just trying to figure out what music style to make. 27's not too rhymey, so maybe 29 will be better to use. If there's a second take, there was no second take. But it was really fun to make. It was fun to make like kind of a dumb song like that, right? not the world's most exciting thing. It's fun to make, and every time you make something, you're figuring out stuff about how you want to make stuff. You make stuff to make stuff to make stuff, and every time you make something, you just get a little better. Even if it's imperceptible, there's improvements that are happening. That's at least what I've noticed. So, I have like 5 other songs that I really like, and I've been thinking about releasing a sort of album, right? This is only going to be like to my close family and friends, but I've really, really enjoyed this process, and I would 100% recommend that if you have the time and energy, you should do Jamuary, and I would say that you should probably do Jamuary in this way. I would love to see you all at the next 2-hour album challenge. I think it's January 14th through 20th. They're like a full week. So you can take 2 hours within the week, just make a song. See everyone else's songs. Hang out in the Twitch chat, be a part of that community. It's so positive and fun, and I think that if you focus on the positivity and the fun and the enjoyment of music, that you'll get what you want out of making music, and that's all anyone can really ask for. And in that vein of enjoying sharing things and the joy of creation, I wanted to show off just one song that I wrote. This isn't a music channel, it probably won't become one, but I think it makes sense just in the spirit of wanting to showcase the thing that you do, regardless of how good it is. I also put Chekhov's ukulele in the shot, just for this. So let me pull up the lyrics real fast. Inside baseball, I actually had to change one of these lyrics after the first take of this because I realized I get really mealy-mouthed with it. But it's a very simple, like 3-chord song, but I enjoy the lyrics, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Can't sleep, I feel it running through my veins. Energy, intrusive thoughts and movies play inside the back of my eyes. I'm so hyper I can't exist. Can't sleep, I wonder if that actor's famous yet. Energy, there's someone wrong on the internet. Inside the back of my eyes, doom scrolling, I can't exist. Cause I'm addicted to being awake, and I'm addicted to the updates. Addicted to each morsel of info coming into my brain. And I'm addicted to the internet, and I'm addicted to knowing something new. And I'm addicted to the process of being addicted to being addicted to. Addicted to being addicted, being addicted to being addicted to. Addicted to being addicted to being addicted to being addicted to. Hyperfocus, look at everything I see. I can't ignore it, it's all interesting to me. For at least 2 seconds until I find something else. Hyperfocus, there's a really cute cat. Hyperfocus, there's atrocities in Gujarat. For at least 2 seconds until I find something else. Cause I'm addicted to being awake, and I'm addicted to the updates. Addicted to each morsel of info coming into my brain. And I'm addicted to the internet, and I'm addicted to knowing something new. And I'm addicted to the process of being addicted to being addicted to. Addicted to being addicted, being addicted to being addicted to. Addicted to being addicted, being addicted to being addicted to. I turn off my phone, and what do I see? Green grass and birds on trees just staring at me. The world is there if I just give it a chance. Fresh air and the sun and all these plants. But where are all my friends telling me they're good at stuff, or the constant reminder that I am not enough? wine, love, and cats and doves and everything in between. And maybe with this shit we're ruining all of our lives. Or maybe I just have an unhealthy fixation with my phone screen. But I know that I'm addicted to being awake. And I'm addicted to the updates. Addicted to each morsel of info coming into my brain. And I'm addicted to the internet. And I'm addicted to knowing something new. And I'm addicted to the process of being addicted to being addicted to. That's take 2. I hope that you have a great day. And I hope that you do January or Novembeat or one of these sort of months where you do a creative thing every day, because I think they're great. And that's it. Thanks. Bye. And there's something called Novembeat where you're supposed to just make something every day for a few months. Usually what happens if I'm just making beats is I get in for just a second. I'm making a thing. So, can't say, oh, can't, yeah. I'm gonna try again.